Hi, it's Malcolm here and welcome to another Greyhorse bot and PR ratings video. And today we're going to talk about Capt Pug lays that was first added to the shared saves on the 10th of the 5th, 2022. Please remember this is a lay system. Okay, when you lay you can lose more than you stake. A lot of these, I mean, this is not a high price lay system, and the maximum lays I've got in is 11, but that's still 11 times your stake or 10 times your stake if you take off the 1. So be a little bit careful with it. This video is just about my experience with this Capt Pug lays. I'm not saying your experience is going to be exactly the same. I've had 12-14 days already using it. If you start today, it might start losing straight away. I don't know. All I can do is show you what's happened up to this date. Okay, let's get on with the video then. In this video, we're going to look at the results. We're going to look at the setup with the Greyhorse bot, and we're also going to look at the staking plan that I'm using and the general one that's being used. So I'm going to be covering those 3 points throughout the video, not in order or anything like that, although we will be looking at the results first. So let's start there. So in case you don't know, PR Ratings is a system builder. It has been around for quite a few years now. I haven't updated it as much as I've wanted to over the last few months, just because of one thing and another, but I'm hoping that will change shortly. But basically, you can build systems with it, and then what happens is people often share some of the systems that they build. They're not meant to be like a tipping service or anything like that. They're just what people have come up with by looking at the statistics. But the whole idea is that we share some systems, and then you can take them in to your own shares and then play around with them and see if you can make them better or worse. I don't know. But that's the general idea about shared saves. So it's not like you're paying for a professional tipster to create those systems. It's just other users who've found something and it looks interesting, so they're sharing what they found. And Capt Pug lays is a classic example of that. Now with the PR ratings, you also get a results feed which shows you basically how the system is performed. Now obviously a lot of this is back before the system was actually created, so it's going back over the results and looking at those results and those races, and then creating a results feed. So what you tend to do is wait when a system's first created. You look at the results and say, well, this looks quite interesting, but it's just been added, so we now need to test it and see how it goes over the next 100 bets, 3 months, that kind of thing. So if we look at when it was created, which as I said was the 10th of the 5th, 2022, and we now look at the results. So we've got it didn't have a particularly good first month, but it had a really good month last month, and is up 8 points this month, or nearly 9 points. That's from 1 point staking, and that is after 5% commission. I'm like a lot of people, only pay 2% commission because I've taken up the offer with Betfair, where they allow you to not have any bonuses from the sports site and things like that, but just have pure commission from the exchange site. So I've opted for that, so I only have to pay 2% commission on that. And lots of people have done that. And if you look in your Betfair promotions, you might find it comes up now and then, I think. Okay, so yeah, there's the results. Now, as I said, on the first month it was introduced, which was like not quite halfway through the month, but it didn't particularly do that well, but it's still added 10 points to the bank, which is not to be sneezed at. But last month was obviously incredibly well, and if you have a look at last month, a couple of things happened. Is the strike rate went up, and the average losing odds was quite low as well. Now let's have a quick look at that, because we can see the strike rate is normally around 22%. I'll bring a pen up so I can highlight some of this. So yeah, the normally 72%, and this was last month there, And I mean, there has been times when that average losing odds has been actually lower, but the strike rate tends to drop as well. We have had other months where it hasn't made a lot of profit in the month. So that wasn't unusual. And overall that month, if we'd have taken it from the first of the month, we would have made 36 points. It was just that, we hit it hard halfway through. Last month there was a time when it had a bit of a bad run, but it still kind of recovered and still came up to 62 points. So last month was a really interesting month, and it's had better months. So you kind of know with this system it's going to go a bit up and down. And this month the average losing odds is 2.33, so we're kind of being saved by a high strike rate at the moment, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But generally it's working good, so it's worth doing. Now this is based on 1 point staking, so in other words, you put the same stake no matter what the price is. So you can use liability staking, which some people are using, where you divide your stake by the current price and stake that amount. I'm not sure how well that would work. I don't know. But so this is my bot setup, and you can see that since I started it on the 22nd, oops, I'll get rid of that actually. Since I started on the 22nd of June, I've actually made 25 points. Well, actually that's not quite accurate, because yesterday I changed the stakes to 150, so I think I made 3 points yesterday, so it's still pretty good. And as you can see, I had that one loser. Now you may notice that I'm not making the same amount every race, and the reason for that is I'm using the Maria staking plan. I'm not sure it actually works with this, but I thought I'd have a go and I'll show you how that kind of works. So in case you don't know, the Maria staking plan is based on this staking plan that was used by this poster who turned £3,000 into £100,000 over a year or something. I can't remember the exact story. You can look it up online. But and they used a staking plan which basically went something like this. So anything below 3.5 they staked. Actually this is wrong obviously because I put the price up, but it goes anything under 3.5 you stake 1% of your bank. Anything under 7.4 or 7.5 you stake 60% of your bank, and anything under 11 you stake 40% of your bank. Now I'm using not percentages of my bank in this one, I'm using stake. In fact, let me show you how that's set up because I've set it on another bot as well. Hold on. So in this bot I actually set it up as it should be. So ladder stakes, see I'm using stake percentage of bank. So under 3.5 I've put 1%, under 3.5 to 7.4 I put 6. Oh, and I changed, that should actually be 4%, but I decided to change it to 6% and leave it. I had it at 4% as well. The problem was my bank is so low at the moment that those bets are not being matched by Betfair. They're calling that an unfair bet. So I put it to 6 for a bit to wait for my bank to go up, hopefully, and then I'll change that back down to 4%. But it's 1%, or the full stake on anything under 3.5, 60%, and then 40%. That's the proper way of doing it. And again, you can look this up online just by putting in Maria staking plan or something like that, and you'll find the post about it. So the other thing, I'm using ladder stakes. I've set the trigger range from 1.10 to 11. So the ladder stakes kind of deals with that as well, because there's nothing over 11, so it won't put any stakes on anything over 11. So that deals with it as well. The session, I'm just going at 180 seconds before. I don't know why I just picked that number. I mean, you could go 60 seconds or 10 seconds to get near a BSP, I suppose. I've gone for 180. That seems to work for me. It's good if everybody who uses the method just tries different times, because then we're not all trying to get on the selection all at the same time. And so hopefully that'll help kind of smooth things out a little bit. So yeah, stop profit and loss. I haven't got any stop profit. I put £10 loss in there. I don't. Again, that doesn't really matter. I suppose it's just that probably could be something like 15 or 20. I haven't got anywhere near that yet, so I haven't had a problem with it. And yeah, so ladder stakes. This is obviously a lay system, so we are laying, so you've got to be careful with that kind of thing. And normal disclaimers. This is something you want to do. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Anyway, yeah, I've done it by stakes on this one, but it should be percentage of bank, and I'm still thinking of changing it. I'm still not convinced Maria is the best way to go with this method, to be honest with you. But the problem is, and I'll show you that, is that most of the losers are at the lower amount. So it's almost like it should be reversed for these selections, because you can see there 2.62, 2.68. I mean, yeah, it saved me a bit on that one there and that one there, but there are a lot of lower prices. And the problem is when I win, which is obviously a lot, I'm not getting the full winnings. Like here, I'm only getting 59 pence instead of 147, and 88 pence instead of 1.47. So that's where it kind of falls down, and I'm not quite sure that's the best way of doing it. But I'm still testing it and still looking at it. So there have been a few occasions where I've saved myself from major losses. Well, not major losses, but bigger losses. But I'm just not sure that it's worthwhile. And if you go through, then there's one there at 640. So instead of losing £5.40, which I'd have lost on that, I only lost £3. But then if you weigh it up against places where you would have made more money, I'm not too sure about it at the moment. But I'm playing it through and just seeing basically what happens. So but yeah, so up to yesterday, I made, well, that shows £25 in the last few days, whatever it is. What is it, about 12 days, something like that. So it's not too bad, and we'll see how it goes now. I've upped the stakes, and I'm going to now change the stakes every time I make 10 points, I think, because I think that's probably about right. I made 3 points yesterday, see what today brings. But maybe by the end of the week, if all goes well, I could be up to another 10 points, and I'll raise the stakes by, say, another 50 pence then, and see what happens. But the other test is based purely on the bank, so we'll see how that progresses. So that's basically it. Captain Pug lays 10th of the 5th, 2022. And we've looked at the results, we looked at the setup, and we've looked at the staking plan. Obviously, this is Greyhorse spot or PR ratings, sorry. And PR ratings together. PR ratings gives you the link. The Greyhorse spot allows you to do it all automatically, so you can. A lot of people run the Greyhorse spot on the server and just let it run day after day after day after day without doing anything. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you're watching that on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, which would be great. I got over 1,000 subscribers, which was really good, so heading for 2,000 now, see what happens. But anyway, thank you again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.